So yeah, we had a technical issue there. Internet went down. Really annoying, but that's what you get for you have Virgin Media, I suppose. Unreliably unreliable. Anyway, the good news was, or the bad news was even, that Owen was rubbish at throwing. He was doing overarm, but overarm wasn't working. He had to do underarm, even though he was suspended. They got 1 star, which mortified Chris because that means Chris has been the least successful challenger on the trials this season by quite a long measure. But yeah, it was, you had super confident Owen, and he just completely messed up what was going on, and he didn't get the stars in the box, and he was, to be fair, he was gutted, and rightly so. But he done badly at the funfair one, where they had to throw the balls into a big bin, and he didn't get all the balls. In fact, he got about half the balls in. I admitted he was spinning around and getting his head wet because he was on a Duran Duran Wiles Boys tribute spinning wheel. But yeah, he was a bit gutted, and Chris was actually consoling him, and it's like, doesn't matter, you're all right, you did okay. And yeah, it was a shocking event. Then we had the Dingo Challenge, which was the solar system, and you had Sean and Jill going, and they had to go into the black hole, which is in the wall behind them, the hole, and they had to get the planets out, and then they had to put the planets in the order that they were, in order from the sun outwards. But the poles that they were on a disc, which you can see there, and the disc itself wobbled. So they were putting them on and walking around, and they were just falling off again. So then they had to run around, pick them up and put them back on again. But neither of them had any idea what the planets were or where they were. Now, I don't claim to be a scientist or anything, but I do know that one of the planets is Earth, and Earth, because of a comedy show in the noughties or even the 90s, which was called Third Rock from the Sun, means that we are the third one in. And then you can kind of work out around that, because obviously Mars is near to us and all that kind of thing. So they faffed around quite a lot, and they got like none right, then they got like 2 right, then they got none again, and then eventually they figured out the system and how to do it, and they did really, really well. They actually managed to get all of them, and they got the Dingo Dollars, and the camp got the question right. So they all got, the fun size Mars, they all got a third of one of them each. Wow. And yeah, they even bit it in half. Night time, and there was a night shift going on at the Outback factory. So you had Matt Hancock, Sean and Mike, and they had a conveyor belt in front of them, and they had to put their hands in the rubber gloves, and they had to make things as they went down. So for example, hot dog, and there was an ice cream, and other bits and pieces. And what they were trying to do was they were trying to earn breakfast for everyone else. So basically fried eggs, bacon, and that kind of thing. And they got 2 goals at everything, and the first time they did it, they didn't do it, and the second time they had a go at it, they managed to do it. I think because they'd basically sussed out what order to do it in and how to do it and all that kind of thing. So very triumphant Matt Hancock came back and said, we're all having fried breakfast in the morning, or words to that effect, which got everyone very excited, including Chris Miles, although short-lived, because not long after having his breakfast, he was evicted from the camp. To be fair, he's not everyone's cup of tea, I get that, I get him, and I like his sense of humour and everything, but I know a lot of people don't. So he's done well. The first thing he said when he come out was, "I can't believe that I'm less popular than Matt Hancock." And I think a few others have thought that but not said it. Talking of Matt, him and Mike went on the next challenge. The Bush took a trial, and this one where Mike was in a dunk tank, and if he got a question wrong, he ended up dropping into this really stinky, smelly, horrible liquid, which was, well, it looked like it had bits of offal floating in it and dead fish and all that kind of stuff. It's just horrendous, and obviously the heat of the jungle as well. But if you got a question right, it added to the 30 seconds that Matt Hancock already had to solve a puzzle. So Matt could have a maximum of 2 minutes because there was 3 questions. Be honest, Mike got dunked quite a lot, but to be fair, a lot of the questions got asked I don't think many people would know the answer to. And also, to be fair, Matt Hancock was inside these like dog cages with lots of nasty things. There was 5 different ones, and they all looked rancid. Snakes and spiders and the usual stuff that you get. And he just kind of plodded on. And out of the 5, look at the size of that spider, out of the 5, they managed to get 4 right. And what he had to do was, you normally get a star, well the star was all cut up into little bits, and you had to put it into a star shape and make it back into a star again, whilst you had these creepy crawly things all over you, and bitey ants, you know, the green ants and everything. It was just not nice, but they did well. And I'm like thinking, it is worrying how well Matt Hancock is doing, and he's still there. Well, at least to this point, anyway. Then it was just basically chat and whatnot. They didn't do any more challenges that day, but the following morning, it was Sean who got kicked out. And Sean was asked, what did you think when you were in the camp on your own, when he first went in, because they were late arrivals, and Matt Hancock come round the corner, and he just started laughing in his rather bizarre laugh he has. And yeah, it must have been surreal. And he basically said the whole thing feels like a dream. It feels like, you know, this bizarre stuff that's gone on. So he left, and he's got a pregnant lady friend there. I don't know whether it's the dancer from Strictly Come Dancing, or whether it's his original partner or whomever. But we've now got the final 4, and the final 4 consist of Matt Hancock. People are warming to Matt Hancock. Now, I've said before, he shouldn't be in there at the moment, but if he'd have been in there after he was no longer a MP, then I think he could have won it. I don't think he's going to win it, but you never know. You've got Mike Tyndall, MBE, and a lot of people are saying he's going to win it, but I don't think he cares whether he wins it or not. Then you've got Jill Scott, MBE, the football player, the only woman left, and she's been the only woman for a while. In fact, Chris Miles even come out with the statement after Chitty Chitty Bang Bang success, that behind every 6 average men there's a superhuman woman, or words to that effect. And then my new favourite, which is Owen from Hollyoaks. I don't watch Hollyoaks, I don't know, and I'm not going to watch Hollyoaks either. But he actually seems like he's fairly genuine. He's not really changed all the way through this. He's just been himself, and you can't act that. I did say at one point, especially at the beginning, that I was a bit concerned that he was trying to be the new Joey Essex, you know, young, fit and thick. But I don't know, he's got a different element to him, and yeah, I'm kind of hoping now that he wins. But I think Matt Hancock, I mean, you know, it could be very, very strange, and we could have Matt Hancock winning. But I'm glad most of the people who've gone have gone, because, like I say, either they didn't register like Scarlett, or I just didn't like them, like Boy George, Charlene, if you remember her, Scarlett and Sue Cleaver. I mean, Scarlett, but she just didn't register. I think I mentioned her name about twice or something in this thing. But yeah, it's all good. So it's the Cyclone tonight in about 45 minutes, when we find out how good the celebrities are at staying on their feet. And I think it's going to be an absolute disaster. I can't for the life of me think that it's going to be a good Cyclone. I think they're going to do really, really badly, and their last night is going to be well, not great. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with the slight outage that we had, and all being well, I'll be doing this again tomorrow night after the final. So until then, goodbye. Yes, I'm back, but I'm going. See you later. See you tomorrow for the reaction to the final, and see who has actually won.